Welcome to Donny Boone. On Friday morning, June 22nd, Morning Joe on MSNBC did a show where it was very accusatory and it attacked the Trump administration. And although Donald Trump did exactly what the libtards wanted him to do, which was to use his pen and his phone, just like Barack Obama used to do. In fact, Charles Schumer demanded that he do this and said he could do it now, this moment, and fix this. So he's done it. He's fixed it. And what happens? Oh, now that you're keeping the family together, you're locking them up in a concentration camp together. They don't want that. They want anyone coming across with a child to get a pat on the head and a little piece of paper saying when to come back for a court date and just allowed to walk right into the country. And then they'll never show up for the court date and you'll never see them again. That's what they want, open borders. Let's see what they have to say. Let's see what kind of slander that they can hurl at the President of the United States.
This report from the state of Maryland, where many children have reportedly been sent with little information. One is 18 months old. Several are too young to speak to their new caregivers or help social workers track down relatives who could take them in. Lawyers are trying to figure out how to put together asylum claims for 6-year-olds.
Asylum claims for 6-year-olds are because their parents have sent them on a 1,500-mile trip by themselves. They may have spent lots of money, up to $12,000, to a coyote or a human smuggler to get their child across the border in the attempt to cast an anchor baby into the United States. And what MSNBC is saying is, well, we've got this 6-year-old that showed up on our doorstep and they have no parents. There's nobody with them. They're by themselves. So therefore, we have to search all across the United States to try to find if they have a relative already in the United States who will take them, and then they'll be brought into the United States. And then they'll be given DACA eventually, and they'll become U.S. citizen, and then they'll bring their whole family over, and it's all just an invasion theory where they can enter the country, go around our laws, and do whatever the heck they want. And that's why it has to be stopped. It has to be enforced strictly. You need to take that 6-year-old, incarcerate him in a loose manner, low-level security, where exactly what we've been doing. Give him education, food, uh, playtime, video games, and medical attention until you can find out where he needs to go back south, back into the country of his origin, back to his actual parents and his family back in El Salvador or wherever it is they're from.
No, he will be forever remembered as the president who traumatized little children. That's his brand now. He's the president who purposefully traumatized babies and children. And he traumatized them for his political gain or to look strong or to look like Kim Jong-un. I mean, he has built up to this moment to the point where now he is the president of the United States of America who took our country on a collision course downhill, tearing at every seam, being the president who abused little children.
And yet, President Obama did the same thing. He did the exact same thing. They even called him the deporter in chief. And they had minor protests that didn't get televised about the way he was handling immigration. But do you hear this from this group now? No, it's all Donald Trump. It's never been done before. This has never happened before. And it's a load of crap.
What has to happen now, this can no longer be about who Trump is. It has to be about who we are. If we are working towards November, we can no longer say Trump's the bad guy. If you vote for Trump, you're the bad guy. If you vote for Trump, you are ripping children from parents' arms. The mistake that we've made in the past is look at that bad guy over there, look at that bad guy. What the Democrats have to do is make the next election a referendum on not who Trump is, but who you are. And that's the big difference. You can no longer now as a voter, because it's now not about taxes. It's not even about some abstract term of immigration or nationalism. If you vote for Trump, then you, the voter, you, not Donald Trump, are standing at the border like Nazis, going, you here, you here. And I think we now have to flip it. And it's a given, the evilness of Donald Trump. But if you vote, you can no longer separate yourself. You can't say, well, he's okay, but.
Let's see. Has this been tried before?
You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
How did that work out for you, Democrats? You're insulting voters. You're telling them how horrible they are. And did they say, oh, we feel so bad, we're going to vote for you? Hell no, they didn't do that. They threw you out. And that's what's going to happen this time because you didn't learn your lesson the last time. You attack us personally, and you're going to get thrown out this time, and it's going to be a red wave, not a blue wave.
That, yes, this does feel like a different moment for this presidency. We will see if this is indeed that defining moment. He got through Charlottesville. He has the ability to, he was, of course, damaged. His moral leadership was irreparably hurt there, but he survived it. This is a president who has the ability to change the subject, who has spawned off one controversy after another. No, this is a different, that's how this is, the moment feels different here.
You know, we tried over and over again to get Donald Trump, and every time we failed because we were a bunch of morons. But hey, we're still trying to get him. And you know, this time we think it's going to work. But I don't think it's going to work, Democrats. I don't think it's going to work at all.
He's been openly racist, just like we said back in December of 2015, openly racist. And if you support him, then you're supporting that, and you are that.
It's that basket of deplorables accusation. History is repeating itself.
This so transcends ideology. I have no idea how anybody can still support this man.
Please allow me to find someone who can explain it to you, Morning Joe.
I mean, it's heartbreaking. It makes me tear up just listening to it, watching it. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, Victor, we are a nation of immigrants, but we're also a nation of laws. And the immigrants have to follow the laws. And if these parents are truly seeking asylum, then they need to go to a port of entry and they won't be separated from their children. But even furthermore, if they're truly seeking asylum, then why not go to Mexico? They had to travel from Guatemala all the way through Mexico to the U.S. border to get here. Why not seek asylum in Mexico? Why are you making that long trek and then crossing the border illegally? Why not go to a port of entry? As a mother, I wouldn't do that to my child. I would go to a port of entry where I wouldn't be separated. It's pretty simple.
I'll tell you why they didn't stop in Mexico is because they're economic immigrants. They don't qualify for asylum. But along the way, they were given a card either by the Mexican government, Mexican lawyers, or American lawyers on what to say word for word. And a lot of them just read it off the card. And they do not qualify for anything. They must be deported.
This president and supported him through scandal after scandal after scandal. I just came back from Minnesota and a rally that he had in Duluth, and people were supporting him more than ever. And they're not rare. I talked to so many people who were representative of a Quinnipiac University poll that was released this week that said 55% of Republicans support the policy of separating children.
Yes, we support the policy of separating the children, because the law has been broken. This has to be done. This is reality. This is not catch and release. This is not the Democrats. This is not an open border. This has to be shut down. We have to build a wall. This has to be done. We have to secure our border.